you, Ahmad. Use what time? What time?
What time? What time does he usually cut the tree?
What time does he usually cut the tree? What
What
time?
time does she usually read the newspaper?
What time does she usually read the newspaper? Very good.
What time do you usually arrive to college for class?
What time do you usually arrive to college for class? Good example. How about you?
What time do they usually go to?
To where? What time do you usually? What time do they usually go to home? How about you?
What time does she write a letter?
What time does she usually write a letter?
What time
Mhm.
What time does she cook the meal?
What time does she?
Usually cook the meal.
What time does she usually cook the meal?
What time does he usually wash the clothes?
What time does she usually wash the clothes?
Usually have dinner.
Very good. What time does she usually have dinner?
What time does she wash the clothes?
What time does she usually wash the cloth? Now we are going to talk about what do you usually do after dinner. You need to give me more examples about it. Like what time do you usually do after dinner? What do you usually do after dinner? But I'm not going to talk about the answers. I'm going to talk about the questions. How can you make questions using what do you usually do? You can also talk about what does she. But if you talk about do, so try to use I, we, you, and they. Like how? What do I usually do after dinner? What do we usually do after dinner? What do they usually do after dinner? This is how you can make questions. But if we are going to make questions with what does, then we need to use he, she, it, and Ali. Like, what does she usually do after dinner? What does she usually do after dinner? What does he usually do after dinner? What does it usually do after dinner? Give me an example using what do.
What do you usually
Do after dinner.
do after dinner?
Once again,
What do you usually do after dinner?
what do you usually do after dinner? How about you?
What do you usually do after lunch?
Yes. What do you usually do after breakfast?
What does he usually do after lunch?
What does he usually do after lunch? Very good.
What does